Well, you look at a lot of that. It is true. You go in there and they really try for a few years, and then it gets stuck in the same old rut, and then shit go to hell. And they start being the self-serving politicians that they normally are, right? So it doesn't really help the people. Now, one country, if you remember Thailand, Thailand is one of these countries that will change government every couple of years. No problems.
I was going to say more
It just
often than I
changes.
change my socks.
Yeah, actually every 6 months sometimes. And nobody cares about it because the country keeps running along because they had the king, right? The king of Thailand. And with him as a monarch, everything's running along. Now it's his son. And the son, actually, everybody thought it would go to hell, but he seems to be doing okay. Everybody loved the daughter more, but he seems to be hanging in there, doing okay. So Thailand keeps running just because there's a monarch, and it doesn't really matter what's going on in the government. His economy just keeps running. So it doesn't really affect. So the people there, and that's a classic example. Does the government really matter that much? Now, if it's just regulating a little bit and you have a smaller government, that would be good because it's not giving you so much trouble versus other governments that are much stronger in their, power and taking everything they can from you.
Yeah, so it goes back to there's in so many countries around the world, the debate, maybe the external debate more than the internal, is the economy more important or personal freedom more important, right? So you look at like mainland China, the economy. Yeah. Okay, right now they got some issues, but it's been an economic miracle for a long time now.
Right. True.
Personal freedom, no. When you ask. I guess it depends who you ask about it. Most people really would probably say, "Oh, freedom is more important," but on a daily basis, it's probably the economy more important. Because even in somewhere like China, as long as you're just like doing what the government wants, they don't bug you, right? And that most people do. I just go to work, I go have a beer, I go have whatever. Yeah. If I want something the government doesn't want, then my life is no good.
Yeah, right? True.
So most people. I think in the world, most people don't really care that much about freedom. They feel they have enough. They don't think about it, right?
As long as they're not thrown in jail for any little thing. The freedom of living your normal life, like you said, I'm going to work, I'm going to do my stuff, I'm going to do some business, I'm going to buy some beers and go travel, and I have no restrictions on that. If I have no restriction, I mean, just think about when I was in college. And I saw my first Chinese students come across from China. And that was back in what? Where was I?
1603?
Yeah, something like that. No, they would go anywhere. Chinese, come on, the Chinese go anywhere back then. Actually, they were more migrant than back then. But there was a period. China's everywhere, right? So they were more migrant earlier. But during the communistic time, there was actually so much travel restriction. Nobody could go anywhere without being an official delegate of government or something like that. Then there was some students coming into conference from China. It was like, holy shit, the first time I've ever seen that. And we were attending a college conference for something. But that's probably in the 80s, or like you said, when you were there. Like nobody left when you were there, and virtually nobody was going in when you were there, right? You were there early 80s or something like that, right?
Yeah,
somewhere about that. Yeah, about that time.
84,
late 70s, early 80s, something like that. When I was like, wow. And then by the time I got into University of Hawaii, it was like floods of Chinese students coming in, in the PhD and master's program and stuff. There's like, they're everywhere. So it's like weeds. No, I was just joking. It's a comedy show, but no. But you're right. The personal freedoms are everybody wants personal freedom. It's more important here than other places, but. Because China kind of grew up where you didn't have those freedoms. You can't own a gun. You can't own this. Here, you have to own a gun, or else you're not American almost. In Canada, you're not allowed to have guns either, right? Very much. It's not that easy over there.
I don't know. Like handguns are an issue. Long guns are, fine.
Okay. So, I prefer a shotgun. I was always a hunter. I'm learning pistols now.
That's the whole point. That's what Canada says is that you want to go hunting, go ahead. No problem. A handgun that you're going to have hidden in your jacket, and you're going to go downtown and get drunk and get angry instead of punching somebody, shoot them. That's a less good idea. That's kind of the way we look at it here.
Yeah,
but it's with with the personal freedoms, like somewhere like China. right? Where they came from dirt ass poor.
Yeah.
And for a long time, the economic growth has made your life materially better. Your freedoms are no worse than they were when you were under the communists and you were poor, right? So you still don't have freedom, but it's not worse than it was. Plus, now you have money. So for them,
China,
it works out kind of fine.
Actually, China has more freedom now than they did before. You know that, right? I mean, they're just more relaxed at the government, so they're not going to put you in jail if you say I don't like Xi. You know, also you go to jail. No, now you can say I don't like him, but if you're really going really head on against him and politically against him, then they're going to check you out.
You still don't
like
have the full freedom. So I mean, there's always that debate. So is it the economy or freedom? And that's kind of comes back with the every election that's going on, right? And coming back to, like you're saying, how like I was saying, we have the guys in charge too long, and everybody wants change. And you were talking about Thailand, how things seem to still keep trucking along, and that's kind of one of the problems for the electorate too, right? So I'm tired of seeing fucking Trudeau on TV every day. He's telling me shit, and I feel like my life is shit. Yeah. It's actually not. When I look at it, everything's pretty much the same it was 4 or 5 years ago. A little bit better in some ways, a little worse in other ways, but there's so much negativity around that you start to feel it. You want to go, but things can't change very quickly, and it's probably a good thing. If you had like every 4 years, when you change out the government, you change everything. All the laws change, all the rules change, all the civil servants change. Everything changes.
You
can't. You need continuity. So that's why when the politicians come in, it's part of why when they come in, I want to do this, and then they hit up against that fucking bureaucracy, and they rail against it. It's fucking horrible. And it is horrible, but it's also necessary. So there are never any real easy answers in life. It's okay, let's get rid of all these fuckers. Okay, great, they're all gone. Okay, I got to renew my driver's license. We don't have a DMV anymore. What? It's like, oh shit.
No,